Theme song. Welcome back to Project Hospital. Welcome back to the very troubled House MD, the TV show General. And a quick shout out to a bunch of the commenters. I'm gonna try to shout out your actual names here. So I got the chat pulled up over here. Nia Kitten and many others, but Nia Kitten was the first to get to it. Pointed out that it's actually Doctor Mode F8. Is what you're looking for when you want to control a doctor. So to get to control doctor rating of 80, we need a controlled doctor. So we're going to control Antonio Bandonio right here, and that automatically turns your patients, I believe, that patients automatically become controlled by us, assigned to player's doctor. Hoarseness, laryngitis, 100%. Okay, so let's throw in some antibiotics. Great, call that one a day. So as more patients come in, Antonio Bandonio, whoa, hello camera, relax. The more patients come in, Antonio Bandonio will be dealing with them, and will be dealing with them. Antonio Bandonio, the only one left with a Windonio Bandonio, I guess. Quick update, to make this viable up here, it was just some chaos, so I moved to make the waiting room for radiology accessible, because it was not working down with the radiology still being down here. We moved everything up here. I may still have to do that quickly with this lab as well, but we don't have any money, so we can't really move things. We can't really design much more than we can move things if we need to. But right now, this is a functional hospital, which is the main thing. Linda Smith. Oh yeah. So okay, send her home. So what we need to do is we've got this guy under our control. He's at a 72 right now, and he's idle. There we go. We got some more coming in now. He's idle. So what does this do? This is assigned to me. 4 hidden symptoms. Interview's going to start right away. It looks like the interview kind of already starts right away. So we're going to work our way through all of these. Wait, hang on. What do we have here? Abdominal pain, 7 hidden symptoms. Interview. We're going to go abdominal palpitation. And we're going to keep it low. We're going to try to do fewer things at a time, I think. Because what I want to do is make sure that we can move quickly. So we have to wait till these two can get seen by us. So we can, oh, here we go. Pork tapeworm, 100%. It can't be anything else. Anti-helmetics. Let's get this guy on anti-helmetics. Okay, this guy is our... Oh, yeah, that's the tapeworm guy. Okay, Richard Martinez, where are we? Where's the one with the... Oh, it was this guy. Okay. All right. Well, that was a quick solve. Good. And decent money, apparently, too, from the 405 doubloons. So that'll be nice. So basically what we need to do is do this today and try to make some money. So what's going to happen is that's going to give us enough money here, hopefully, that we get a grant. We use that grant money to then open cardiology up here, which gives us another grant to finish this room. As you can see, things are getting pretty bad here. The amount of patients has stacked up on us. This is getting pretty rough. But this is exactly why I said I wanted 1, maybe even 2 more doctor's offices. So, like I said, keep a little section carved out for pathology and then turn this into a massive sort of doctor's wing. As far as what happens over here, I think that's still going to be ICU. But who was it that said this comment down below? I believe... Cionab, thanks for watching, by the way. Thanks for enjoying this channel. Mentioned that actually the traumatology might be more important because that's kind of where you go right immediately, and then ICU is kind of like hospitalizations for if something's wrong. So I'm not really sure if you want ICU on the first floor or not. We can mess around with the lore and the storytelling in a little bit here. Sarah Garcia, what do you have? You either have an ankle contusion or an ankle fracture. We have 3 hidden symptoms. We're going to x-ray that lower limb, thank you. All right, the next person's going to come in. In the meantime, I also want to shout out Dr. LC95, who left some wonderful comments, namely that we're doing pretty good with how the relative accuracy of our lab spaces. So they're usually pretty cramped, this doctor said. And believe it or not, it's a real doctor, so that's pretty cool. Okay, what do we need to do here? They're complaining of hoarseness and fever. So we need to do a neck palpitation and chest auscultation. So let's do that, please. So I think a little more work here, making this a little even more cluttered, For instance, like, I mean, I like this shelving here. I think a lot of, like, labs, again, remember, labs don't, like, look super fancy and high-tech unless that's the aesthetic you're going for. I'm going for a little bit more of a worked-in sort of realistic lab. So we could get this a little more cluttered, I think, in the future. But once we have money to do cluttering things like that, we will. However, they also have pointed out, I can just imagine some of the doctors on break upstairs thinking about biosafety regulations with a histology lab next door. Okay, because this was going to be, I believe, I forget whose, I have to go into management, I think. There we go. I forget whose this is. This is going to be, cardiology. It's a shared common room anyway, but this is going to be a common room next to the histology lab. So what the doctor in our chat was saying is that generally the labs would be far away from high traffic areas. So I was actually kind of thinking that this area here could be good for labs, and we could put it behind another wall. So there's a couple layers of security to get through before you get into there, because apparently some of the, chemicals and stuff they use to do the tests are also a little dangerous and potentially reactive. So we could potentially look at moving all the labs over here into their own sort of structure, keeping that on the second floor. I still think like ICU or traumatology, I'm not really sure, goes on the first floor here. Again, we may have to move the labs to the third floor. I'm not sure. I like the first floor being where a lot of our laboratory, I can't talk anymore, laboratory space is, because this is where I want to do the skybridge, right on the second floor. I think is going to look the best to have the skybridge kind of low to the ground, because then that's your highest probability of that skybridge being effective. We could also put an elevator right next to the skybridge or something. I'm not sure what we want to do, but essentially, if we can design all our labs on this side of the building, I think that we will have more room for our radiology departments, and that'll look a little more realistic and better, and just kind of make things a little less cramped in here. It does give me the opportunity to think about expanding this hallway here to make this even more efficient. Because if I clip this room off, make it smaller, move all the labs over here, this room here could become maybe this, whatever, this I can't talk, cardiography room. I wonder if we could even, because that's 3 doctor's offices for the cardiology. I think that's good. And cardiography maybe we should keep here, but the sonography unit maybe we could put over here. And then this gives us another room, which we could use for something. I'm not sure. But basically, it makes our diagnostics floor, which is floor 2, just a little more effective and a little more easier to access using the skybridge and the elevators here. So anyway, that's a thought. There's some options here. Probably put some bathrooms in there too. I mean, there's a lot of options for what we can do design-wise, but really what we need to do is get back into the green and get some grants. But again, I want to thank you for your wonderful comments that really help to, improve. Well, first of all, make me feel like a pro, which I am, but also improve the look of the hospital, improve what we've got going on here. So we have a lot of work to do today, but with all of your help, we can get there. Jessica Moore, what can Antonio Bandonio do for you? 3 hidden symptoms. We have laryngitis, pharyngitis, or whatever, but we could also just do this and narrow it down to laryn or pharyngitis. I want to say that's... Okay, we don't need temperature measurement. I feel like... Could we not... swallow pain or hoarseness? I feel like... What's going to be the difference between these two? Inflammation of the voice box. Bacteria or virus. Inflammation of the throat. Okay, so we're going to go... let's go oral cavity inspection. Okay, keep going. And go a little faster maybe, Antonio Bandonio. Look, things are going... things are problematic down here. Hurry up. Unfortunately, Jessica Moore has not had a better situation. Nasal cavity inspection, probably. And then we're probably going to need to do blood pressure... physical examination, temperature measurement. Wait, is temperature measurement actually good? We know she has a fever. A temperature measurement isn't going to help us. Oh, crap. Okay, good luck. Yeah, do this next one here. I think that's our best option, maybe. I'm not sure. Procedures have finished. There we go. Laryngitis, we got 100%. Antibiotics. Oh, I got a steam thing down here. Diagnosed correctly 20 times under your care. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Come on, give me money for that. Antibiotics, sorry, thank you. Okay, antibiotics, there we are, and send her home. Next patient, Antonio, you're killing it. Oh boy, our hospital is crammed to the gills, though. I feel like this town that we are nearby is growing very quickly and going to be in need of a larger facility sooner rather than later. Send Karen Wilson for an x-ray of her lower limbs. Yes, get out of here. Okay, who's this person? Nancy Young. Pharyngitis, 100%. NSAIDs, which I believe are like painkillers or something. Nausea or anti-inflammatory drugs. Condition to relieve pain. I knew it. See, I'm basically a doctor. Objective complete. 80% doctors rating the day isn't even over yet. Employee leveled up, specialization available. So let's take a look at that. But we're still working on Carol Clark here. And I forget, I think neck palpitation will tell us. I forget which one it is that helps me get to laryngitis. Although it's not even about getting to this one. It's also about ruling this one out. Here's the thing. We know it's not going to be that. That feels a little cheap to me, so I try not to use it, but it's, if we're trying to speed up, we probably want to. Okay, let's see here. We have no study room. Okay, so we can't do anything with that. But wait, where did it say new specialization available? Also, did we get some money? Oh, I thought we were going to get a grant for that. Acute medicine is pretty good. I mean, you might even say it's acute. Sorry. I mean, critical care medicine. Acute medicine is pretty good. Right, I see. Since it's at 0, this is the best time. I wouldn't mind, is there not something like internal medicine would be good? I don't know if I just don't know if I care about acute just yet. Epidemiology, traumatology. Traumatologists specialize in treating severe acute physical injuries that require immediate medical attention. I'd like him to have other cool specializations, but I think acute medicine actually makes the most sense for what Antonio Bandonio needs to be doing. All right, so I was wrong. We didn't get a grant for that. I really thought we were going to get a grant. Correctly diagnose patients of controlled doctors in intern mode. Okay, well, let's take a look here. I'm Joseph Moore. I'm so sorry. We're packed. We cannot deal with you. We need to make money. We need to get ourselves out of this debt we're in. Clinic is about to... Yeah, everyone's about to leave. Okay, this actually could be going poorly if I can't get a grant. I might have to take out a loan just to get this hospital up and running. What do I get if I do this one? A $50,000 government grant. Okay, so this is what I need to do. All right, now we're lined up with a grant. Okay, anyway, let's focus here. So we still don't know what it is. Let's do a laryngoscopy. That's probably what we should have done earlier. We got to look down there and be like, it's laryngitis. And it... Oh, no. Okay, this has not been a good day for us. There we go. At least we got laryngitis 100% confirmed. So remember, laryngoscopy is what we need to do. We're not going to get a lot of money from her, but hopefully that heads us towards getting a better one. Employee level up. Is now a specialist in anesthesiology. Okay, that's good to know. But they're getting very good at general medicine and diagnostics. So this person might need to move on to another, I'm so sorry, surgery or something. Okay, send her home. Next one, F8. Let's bring up F8. How many do we have on our list here? Oh, I'm so sorry. There's nothing I can do if you're about to leave the clinic. We have too many people. Fracture of finger or hand contusion. We know which one it is. X-ray upper limb because it moves you on. But I know it's cheating, but we know which one it is. Okay. Jane Martinez. Pharyngitis. Immediately we found that one out because he's good at that one. Send her home. Come on. Clinic is about to leave. I'm so sorry, Carol Garcia. You got to find another hospital, I guess. Wait. Correctly diagnosed patients of controlled doctors in intern mode. Oh, wait. I'm not in intern mode. So I'm not getting that. I think we need to think about a loan here. Karen Wilson was correctly... Oh yeah, send her home. We've made decent money, and we'll continue to for the rest of the day. But I think we just have to keep muscling through... Oh, crap. We have to keep muscling through today, is what I was going to say, but now we can't currently muscle through today. There's nothing left to muscle through. All right, Daniel Baker is our last patient for the day, and he's not doing great. He has some options here. It's probably lupus. Breathing problems, headache, chest pain, fatigue. Let's go... Temperature measurement. Yeah, it didn't really help that much. Okay, let's go. Physical exam. Fatigue, fever, headache, chest pain. I mean, chest pain could be good. So what we need to do is chest auscultation. I guess it makes more sense to do... There we go, bronchitis. It makes more sense to do ones related to one of the symptoms than I thought. So if he's getting a fever, maybe a temperature measurement isn't that bad. Okay, bank loans. Payback 20, loan 20. Daily interest. Well, that's not how you do a loan normally, by the way. Let's let it get a bit brighter. I've done this before. We're going to go like here, and then we hit escape. There we are. So it's 7 in the morning, and we have time to get a new hospital up and running through the taking out of loan. Daily interest, 200 doubloons. 400 doubloons daily interest. We can weather that. We can do this. Okay, I'm going to build that. That's what I want to do, though. I want to build my my dream. My dream for this place. So we're going to go... foundation on the second floor, which then slaps a roof on top, but no foundation below, so that's good. We grab our wall here. And now we have our very own skybridge, of which we will have... Do we want tall windows with blinds? As opposed, because like look, what we're gonna do, right? This is the one you should do, right? The big tall glass windows, or even these ones. But like, I want this thing to look just a little old school, and I think the way to do that is blinds. Okay, so there is our skywalk, because you'd imagine in an old hospital, it's like, oh, it got too hot here, so this, you know, the janitor or whatever, somebody has to come and close the blinds. All right, so that's the plan here. This is the waiting room. These are 3 different waiting rooms, which I don't mind the vibe of, but we might do the labs over here, so we might want to move that waiting room. We're going to get our cardiology clinic open here, and that's going to hopefully start making us some money. Redesign all down here so that our doctor offices can be, so we can have more of them, and that we can have a grand lobby right in here. Potentially enough room for, let's say, like possibly a gift shop or something. Like, we could have a gift shop right here, which I think is good to have. I think a gift shop is good. And you definitely have that near the entrance. We kind of have it wrap around here. Then basically the doors in here go back into all the doctor's offices. And then this is our sort of open, our lobby space here. Yeah, the cafeteria, the gift shop could come out this way. But we're definitely not going to do that gift shop right now. Yeah, folks, this is going to take several episodes. This is not a single episode vibe here. Step one, lab space. So, if we have this wall, okay, planning mode, corridor. If we have a three wide corridor here, are we in labs? No, let's go labs just because why not? All right, we're going to go corridor. Okay. Straight across, just to, well, let's go back down by like 4, so we could have a room there. All right, now, I think we could do, this all could be labs, which means we still need to think about elevator plan, and then we have the elevator planner. And what helps us now with this is they're 4x4s. And we know there's no buildings below us, so that's kind of there. That helps us with the placement. So obviously we don't want that. We're going to have to imagine that this is going to be some sort of ICU / extreme case thing. I didn't want this one to be super tall. Okay, well then in that case, we don't need that much elevator. That's the other thing. So we maybe don't need this much corridor. So let's go back to our 3 wide corridor. Let's think about an elevator in a better spot. Still somewhat central. Needs to be 4x4. That's the only trick. This gives us a closet around back, I guess. It's just not like the greatest. And then if we put the one here at the end of the hallway, that's very efficient for the hallway. But then we have an elevator right here at our supposed emergency entrance. Which I guess... Okay, let's try this. Hang on. Let's try this. 4 right there. Oop, no, hang on. 1, 2, 3. So let's go here. There's our elevator. Corridor. Kind of cuts that through there. Make sure our elevator planner is at 4. 4 by 4. We come down here. We'll throw in a little bit of foundation just to give us that size. Okay. Wall it in. Take a look at that. I don't mind that. It's an interesting detail piece. We'll have windows on this side and then maybe a color. And then if we had lettering, this would be like H for hospital or something. We could put a big sign right there. I feel like I've seen elevator shafts like this, and it's almost like structural too, is the other thing. Okay, so that's going to be our elevator right there. Turn it around, and we will worry about placing that later because, again, yeah, emergency people are all coming in right here. So we're going to have rooms here, hospitalization, all sorts of stuff. Right, now we need to get rid of this, and we need our elevator planner to be 4, so we take out these 2 with a corridor. And then delete that. There we go. There we go. So that's kept things nice and organized. Now, corridor. The lab corridor is going to carry on over to here, and it needs to embiggen itself right about there so that people can actually access stuff. Then our lab how many labs could we get realistically in this space? I guess that's the real question. And again, in a way that lowers access to lowers traffic. I kind of want all 3 entrances to be here, is I guess what I'm getting at. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's 3. Hematology lab. Okay, let's bring you up to there. That's not that big. Like that's much bigger. But maybe do we? Yeah, I've made. Okay, well we can put some labs on this side as well. Okay, histology lab. Hematology, and then microbiology or hermatology. We could put hermatology right there. I mean, it's hard to get to that. I was going to put a waiting room here, and I was also going to put an airlock, like glassed-in security area. I think microbiology and I think hematology, again, knowing nothing about these, I feel like these are the ones you want to be the most careful with, potentially. What if we do this? So our waiting room, the hallway should be bigger than that, though, shouldn't it? Okay. Let's go like that. And then we could have a restroom right there. This is our waiting room here. An entrance to our labs here and here. So this wall comes right across here. So it's a small entrance to our lab, or a small waiting room. But like, what did you want? A big waiting room? So we're gonna go waiting room here for the labs. I'm working on the accessibility for patients. Don't worry about that. And we're gonna go corridor right here. Is it wasted space? Yes, but it looks a little more controlled this way. I like this. And one thing that was said to me by Dr. CL95 is that it's put away from patients so that they don't see all of the scary doors. Because a lot of the doors you need to be using are doors that say hazmat on. And that's something that we haven't been using. So we're going to be using more biohazard doors on these labs so that they kind of know that these are the serious vibes we're dealing with in here. So that's going to be a somewhat small couple of labs there, and then we're going to have that's the thing, maybe we're known for our hematology lab, right? Maybe we keep it here, because then, I don't know what, this could be a whole other wing, this could be something else. Speedy music. We just have to speed through this part because there is so much to get to in this episode, and it was basically just, cramped waiting room. Okay, so this is looking pretty good here. You're going to come in through the skybridge. You see a very, unfortunately, cramped waiting room. We may have to redesign as things continue to grow. Maybe we get rid of this bathroom, or maybe we get rid of the little airlock area. It's hard to see right now, but basically the doctors will come out of this door here and go and talk to their patients, and then come back into this sort of staff-only area. Which, actually, we could even turn that into a staff-only door. That might look better. Again, it's costing me money. I'm down to 37,000 doubloons. We're still doing okay. I'm going to go restricted area. What's this? Door with an oval. Let's go restricted area. And I think that's important because, again, this is a laboratory area. So once you go in through the restricted door, now there's these 2 biohazard rooms. We're going to put a little ISO room here. But right now, I'm just going to speed through moving all this stuff one more time over to here. So I think this room could just be a 3 deep room there. I'm going to challenge myself to get all that stuff in there. Hit the eyedropper tool and grab the stuff that we used to have. Go into object mode, then hit the eyedropper tool to copy the correct thing. Oh, but we're not. We're trying to copy the windows. There we go. Oh, my goodness. So we have that open to the outside, and then we have these windows here just so people can see the work that's going on inside here. We're going to grab that sample fridge and place that there. Have some cupboarding on this side. All right, so like I said, I was going to flash through this, so let's flash through this and get this darn thing up and running. I'd say this room is looking sufficiently cramped. I would have loved to give them these windows, but I just realized, like, this room here is a tremendously, volatile room with all the fume hoods and the stuff that they're trying to refrigerate in here, the samples and stuff. So, as much as I want to put windows in there, it doesn't make any sense, I don't think, to put windows in there. Give me one of these. There we go. So we're going to leave it without windows because, again, like I said, there's no point. In here we have, what do we have? Could we get it even more cramped but still usable? We could put we could put this one here, which would mean we need to move the scrubs shelf over to there, and then we could get that guy in there, which looks, yes, very nice, very cramped, and an ability for up to 4. Currently, the max is 2 right now because of the laptops. But we could move some stuff around, put 2 more laptops in there, and have 4 people working on samples within this tiny little space, which also has this little safety airlock to keep away from the patients. Is very cramped, but I think functional. So now we just need to do that this room looks tiny compared. The histology lab, we need to prep our hematology lab, which I believe is this one. So we need to move this one upstairs and get it ready. I like this space. And what I might do is just have, like a little airlock in there for privacy. And that's somewhat accessible to there. And then they have a bathroom. We'll make sure that there's a lot of janitors up here. And then this lab is, we could even kit this out if we have extra money. But this lab area is nice and operational and ready to go. So we have to get rid of this one. And then we can really start redoing our bottom floor. All right, I'm keeping this as the speed up music, so just get used to it. As you can see right now, I'm resizing those major radiology labs to make sure they have enough room for the large sort of central scanning equipment that they need. And then that has given me my size for this hematology lab. And then while I was moving things, I started to kind of redesign things a little bit. And I want to use the cabinetry more in these hospital designs because that just feels a lot more realistic rather than TV set. After those finishing touches, I can safely say that I am super proud of how this little lab turned out. Again, we're going very cramped with it, and I'm worried maybe too cramped. But we can worry about that later because I love this island right around sort of an old situation of cabinets. I really feel like you would see that a lot in sort of a hospital, like cabinetry like this wrapped around and then like a new steel table right in the middle. It almost feels a little bit like a restaurant prep area, only instead of meals, you're prepping recipes of, I believe, people's blood. I think that's what hematology is. I hope I'm right. Otherwise, I just recorded that embarrassingly. Let's get a little view around here. So let's bring up the walls and kind of rotate around. So this area here, less inspired, but actually what we could do is grab some of this clutter. We could maybe move the notice board. No, not the notice board. Let's move this chart. The chart board really feels like it's going to be there. I like this little strip of clutter here. But we could put that on the end there. Yeah, that looks okay. Then we rotate around here. That's back to the original view. This is sort of our entrance here, which is easily like the weirdest part of it. Maybe we can even delete this window here. What if we, hang on, there's one. What if we, I mean, that looks a little better. I never like when walls are, when doors are right up against corners like that. I don't feel like that's realistic. Would that I could just move this gridlessly right into the middle there. That's what I'd like to be able to do. This window here, that's fine. It just kind of lets you have access. Like you can just see in there, I guess. But if we moved this, you could probably do the same here. But what if there was like a hatch window or something? Could be more interesting. Honestly, that might look better. Let's go hatch window. I wish I could move the door onto the inside. So we could move these doors over. So we could go restricted door here. Remove that one. Rotate back. Remove this one. Move all this stuff over for a second. And then grab my glass door here. Oh, I was going to... a biohazard door. Sorry, biohazard door. Biohazard door. Right there. That looks slightly less dumb. The dumbness factor is still a little bit there. We'll keep that here and here. That clutter is fine. But now it kind of requires me to carry on... no, control. Oh, shift, right. Okay, eyedropper, shift. Oh, we're in... it's so hard when you're, like, in the wrong object mode. There we go. So that lets me kind of spread that out. Maybe I, like, grab this clock and put it over... no, let's keep the clock where it was. And now let's give us some hatch windows, I think, look kind of interesting. I think they sort of imply a little controlled atmosphere vibes or something. There we go. Yeah, that looks okay. I don't hate that. But I really like the rest of how this turned out. So I'm like, overall, I'm quite happy with this thing. I just really love that island. Also, I like that this is going to be my normal view, so I like that I get to see into that little... I love these corner unit cabinets. Those are my favorite. Okay, so that is done. We've moved our entire lab space up here to this admittedly, and I'll wait for your comments here, admittedly fairly cramped waiting room. I think in the future we may have to expand that waiting room. And I was looking at some things. So I keep hang on, something's wrong. What's wrong? Oh, wait, we don't have anybody. We got to move that staff back in here. So let's get this dude. Technologist. Why are they grayed out? I think they just aren't assigned yet. There we go. So we'll assign them. Hopefully that was the only major warning. Okay, so anyway, in going through all this, like what we have to do here is change the layout of this first floor and this doctor's thing. This always threw me off, right? Emergency. Sorry, I'm too online. This to me, this is not ICU. Okay, I thought ICU was they come in here and rush to the ICU. They don't rush to the ICU. They rush to emergency. So emergency hospitalization is actually going to be over here on the first floor. The doctors for said activity will be over here. So if you come to emergency, you're like, oh, I'm limping. You go in here into this triage room. If you're bleeding, you might come in here. Then the triage nurse will be like, you see those big doors over here? You need to run there. And then they would go there. But normally an ambulance will bring them in here. And then they'll come in, get unloaded and then come into the emergency wing. So that's what's going here, not ICU. And then that's why it makes sense now. People were saying, oh, you should get traumatology and hospitalization for that. So what we're faced with is actually needing, like with this small hospital, we kind of are going to need to decide what we do on each floor, because we're not going to have as much room as we had, say, in our last playthrough or in like some larger hospitals. To that end, I still think pathology works down here. I still think we can have a pretty big emergency wing down here. The other thing to be said, too, is you can... Patients for, like, neurology, for example, you can reassign them to a different ward. You just have to follow them a little bit, but you can micro where they are. We need all this stuff. I don't know, let's put it up here for now. Get that out of there. Again, I wish these windows would copy over, but we have a bit of loan. And then once we get this hospital up and running, I was looking up what intern mode is. Basically, it's just a hardness level. So with Antonio Bandonio, we would just turn up the hardness level or turn it down to intern mode. And then I imagine it asks me to go to resident mode and then expert mode to get successive, successive unlocks for Oopsie Corp. Okay, so we're going to worry about that later, though, because we just need a functional hospital to be able to take in as many patients as we are taking in per day. Because right now, we send home a lot of people, so I want to get this kind of set up. Once we get hospitalization unlocked, I think we can then think about overnight doctoring. I mean, I feel like we could do overnight right now, but anyway. So the next step here, I think, is going to be we need to do our lobby. Unfortunately, I think it's our lobby is next, and then after the lobby, that's when we do all the rest of this in successive episodes. So, like, literally, this hospital is not going to open to the public by the end of this episode. So get yourselves ready. But our second floor, cramped but ready. And then, obviously, I've expanded size here for our other labs. Oh, I need to do this a little bit, too. I need to rework this, because I think that could fit a lab pretty easily. And then leave me... actually, where it is right now, like, let's keep that wall. And let's just knock out this wall and kind of rework this whole space here. We could probably put a washroom in right here, and then expand this waiting room for just our CT, like our scanner people, and cardiology. So we're going to turn that into a little waiting space in a second here once we kind of finagle with this. I guess we could go a little further back. We could put the hallway here. Let's see how small the room needs to be. Like, because what did we lose in planning? So we have CT, MRI, and CT, sonography and cardiography unit right there, X-ray. So we don't have a CAG room. So this could be the CAG room here. And what does CAG need? It needs an what is that? An angiograph. Machines provide techniques also called arteriography that visualize the inside of blood vessels and organs of the body. Ooh. Honestly, that's if we wall it off right there, that's enough room for this, I think, because we can also put in an isolation room. We'll check the prefabs, but I don't even know if you need an isolation room for in here for the angiography. So that's plenty of room. So let's put a hallway here, which gives us more room for our waiting room. Let's do that real quick, and then and then we got to get onto our lobby. Oh my goodness. So let's remove this and this. So that's a double wide hallway. We could go triple wide with it. But what does that get me here? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that enough for a bathroom? Kind of. Not really, though. No, it's too. I think it's too tight for a bathroom. So this could just be a thinner hallway, I guess. It's a little weird to have non-standard hallways, though. Let's get rid of object here. Oops. Click onto that. That's kind of like the quickest way I know how to get into object mode. Although I keep forgetting these are not objects. Okay. Oh, and then I guess the skybridge weirdly starts there. So there is like a weird pop out. So we do... Okay, let's get rid of this. So there's our washroom. There's another washroom or a cleaning closet, I suppose. And then we just kind of need to redesign this old bird. Yeah, we're going to need to rethink how we're doing all this. Maybe we could make this a enclosed hallway, though. Or we should at least put a glass wall here. Or rethink all this and maybe... Because I still don't really know what this room is. Although I do think, going back to what I was saying earlier, each of these... So cardiology here also has hospitalization. And remembering from the previous playthrough, each department needs... If you want a fully hospitalizable wing, you need to open hospitalization at each department. That's if you're going for a maxed out hospital. We're going to have to pick. So we could keep this room open for something like that, like our nurses on-call room or something. Our doctors are here, common room there, and then they walk all the way down here, and then this is maybe our cardiology ward. Although it's a little weird, right? Because it's like our first floor is going to have all our emergency stuff. Anyway, there's still a lot to figure out. But like I said, the first things first, we need to move some of these rooms out of the way. So I can use the move tool, I think, and move these over and line them up here. And get all this out of the way so we can redesign our lobby. Okay, so we've moved a couple of the doctor's offices. A lot harder than I thought. I did have to redesign a little bit. And then this room, this doctor's office is functional, but probably still needs a little TLC. You can't just pick them up and move them. I think this is a good little prefab for a doctor's office. I've seen some where there's like curtains and everything, and even in my old playthroughs, I had fairly big doctor's offices, but you really don't need that space. And in fact, it even slows them down from getting to their various diagnostic tools. This area is going to need a little bit of thought because it's deep, so I don't need it to be that deep. Let's go in here and to our management tool and erase all this. So if you go into doctoring, how many doctor's offices can I get, right? So it's like, what's the minimum? What are these sizes here? This is a 4x5. That's missing equipment, missing staff. I'll assign staff to that in a second. So 4x5. 4x5. Now what's this? Oof, see, that's the problem. So the minimum I can do is 4x4. So if I did some real... That's a 3x4. So if I did some real small rooms here, I could potentially get... Let's go corridor here and move it up by like that. What do I want here? So that's going to make... What are these? These are now 4x4s, which are very small. What's this? That's a 4x4 there. Yeah, so these are very small doctor's offices. But I'd love to get more than just the few that I have here. I'd like to get one more in here if I can, but I just can't quite fit it. But what I could do is take this one and just make it a big old honker. Or I could go like so. 1, 2, 3. So that gives me a couple of bathrooms here, which I may need because I may be getting rid of these. So what if I did restroom here and here? Then we have 2 fairly sizable doctor's offices. Doctor's offi. The real question is, do I need them to be that... Does this hallway need to be that thick? We could go with a 2x hallway. What does that get me? Let's go doctor's office here. 4x5. And then... let's corridor this off. There we are. And then we take this one. That's a 3x5. It's not going to let me. Unless I do this... And then corridor this and get rid of it. Yeah. So I can't get a doctor's office in there, but I could. What I could do. So this is 2. Basically, I'm trying to do is it possible to get 3? So a thin hallway to get to this doctor's office. This could be something. I mean, obviously, I could just change the shape of the building, but that's not how this works. You must challenge yourself. One thing I could do is shift the way this hallway is kind of operating, because right now there's a lot of space next to this elevator. The thing is, we are going to need a janitor's closet, and we might need a big one just to manage this floor, because I don't see myself doing a lot of little ones. So let's make a large cleaning closet here potentially. A smaller hallway down here to get to this doctor's office, which might be confusing, but like you're going to need to give them like a map or something. We're going to put William and we're going to put Rachel back in this one, but we're missing some equipment. We're missing an eye test. So we'll get that eye test on the wall here somewhere. Okay, back to management mode. Let's grab Rachel Hall back in that one. Okay, so those are active Dr. Off-Eye. And then this one here. There we go, like so. And then I think my prefabs, I finally figured out how to save. Saved prefabs. Nope. Where are my... Oh, here they are. 2x3 bathroom. There we go. I figured out how to save it properly. So now we rotate that around. Bingo. Bango. $400 for little washrooms like that. That's not bad. This room back... Yeah, we don't know what this is back here. This is maybe going to be for pathology or something. Okay, get this wall in here. Pow. Now, I think we could literally just move this sucker. Let's grab this room and move the darn thing. Move room or selected area. Sorry, dude. All right, rotate. Slop it in right there. And she fits perfectly, but we're going to go ahead and get rid of that window. So Antonio Bandonio has, unfortunately, lost his window. The new shape has been taking, I guess, shape. I'm not 100% sure what the plan should be. I do think that there should be a fire exit here, so I kept that hallway. Like, we could have shaped this differently and had a lot bigger of a room here, maybe another doctor's office. We do need to figure out how to get more doctor's offices off-eye in here, but I think for right now, we're in a decent shape. Again, I still kind of want pathology, but I don't know, maybe considering the fact that this is going to be the emerge wing down here, maybe we should have some sort of a cross between underneath the skybridge, so you can go back and forth between the wings, but you have to jump outside, I guess. That could be bad. Like, aren't you bringing in pathogens or something? I mean, whatever. It's not like hospitals are never completely sealed environments, so that you may want doctors to be able to get back and forth from here. So we might want nurses' stations or common rooms back here so that they can just walk over and get into their emergency trauma ward. So yeah, again, the design, I mean, going outside leaves a little bit to be desired, because I kind of wanted this just to be a nice little walk way, but maybe you just have to go outside really quick. And I don't know, that to me, that seems like a thing that doctors would complain about, especially if it's like February. Anyway, folks, we're going to worry about that later, because we've got our lobby area. I mean, the episode is running out of time, but we've got our lobby area almost ready to go. Here it is. This was the cluttered initial beginning of our place. I think what we need is you almost want to put a waiting room back here. I still think potentially some sort of a gift shop right in this area could be good. Having a big lobby here is nice so that triage can be done but without people waiting. This feels like it should be a... let's think. This feels like it's not a great use of space, because our elevators are right in the middle, which is great in the future. Maybe we can't have pathology. Maybe we need a waiting chamber back here behind the elevators. That could be what we need to do. I've watched my old hospital series, and I've got to say I really love what I did. So I think we just kind of need to figure out what's going to happen in the next episode, because we did a lot of carving and prepping and moving of these labs. I think these are their final homes. I really hope so. The lab space is really nice. So I think what we need to do is at least look at some planning for the next episode. What I'm going to do is we're going to get rid of this cleaning closet, which I guess I bought new stuff for. Yeah, I did, didn't I? Okay, well, let's move this stuff upstairs. And then what we're going to do is I think we could move a lot of objects over. Although, do we want to renovate? Do we want, like, new objects in these spaces? Oh, this closet is tiny. What have I done? We can't have all these closets. Let's put some just stored. Let's put them away for now. Yeah, this is a tiny little space. Okay, oops. Rotate that to here. Get this out of there. Rotate that around. Yeah, I mean, it's a small closet, but it does the trick. It does the trick. We just kind of need to get all this crap out of here, though. And I don't want to delete it all, because, yeah, you lose it if you delete it. Okay. Garbage. They can't have the garbage in there. Okay. There it is. The remnants of the old first floor. Look how compact it was. It was really something else. Really something to be proud of. But times have changed now. It's time to move on. Here's all our stuff. I mean, is that not a bad waiting room? That's not bad. So we have a lot to do and a lot to figure out as far as like how this is going to work here. But all I know is I want these to be symmetrical like that. So there is a little pillar in the middle, but that's fine. We can put something there. And then I might move this one over because I think we had it over here, didn't we? Like that's sort of the vibes we're going with, because I didn't want it to have the pillars in the way, but we could do it here as well, I think. So let's do that. And then just to remind ourselves, we're going to go here with the floor, with the ground rather. We're going to bring it across and over to here. And then I think what we could do even is, let's get that gray for now. But I think what we're going to do is like some sort of blockage there so that the pillar, people aren't trying to go behind that pillar because that looks a little silly. So we can bring this up here, do a little bit of design work and kind of make that look a little better. But yeah, this is kind of the entrance I want to see here. And then I like the green. We're going to keep the green as like sort of a motif on this space. But I'm not 100% sure what our flooring is going to be. Let's take it back to a super neutral for now. Never mind, that's going to cost 1,500 doubloons. Let's not touch it for right now because we have not too much money left, and we kind of have only created space for like one more doctor's office. I think I need like 2 or 3 more. So what we're faced with is the following challenge. This wide open area here, there's nowhere here where we can really put anything because it'll seal off all of the like walkways. So this kind of needs to be a massive lobby, which is not super ideal. Step 2, the fact that I've put these doors here and I really do want it to be that wide of an entrance. Or does it need to be that wide? We could, okay, hang on. We could think about this. We could move this over a little bit and have this be our sort of entrance. That keeps a little bit of space here for our, like a common room or for like the nurse's back room, like an office kind of thing around the entryway. And then that does create a sort of, we could do a glassed in waiting section, perhaps. I think we're going to have to do that just to keep the shape of the lobby here. So like what if, let's play around with walls for a second. Let's get the wall, something like this. So that's 1, 2, 3. We'll even go 4. I think this is doable. I think there's something here. We line that up for now, at least. We close that off. So this is sort of our waiting area to be seen by the doctor. But we don't make it so closed off that it's... I mean, this isn't bad, is it, though? Something like this. We'll get rid of those stupid windows. Or maybe even 1, 2, 3. Like, again, 3 is very narrow. They come in here. My desk is kind of like right there. It could be right there, but this makes a really narrow space back here. Maybe it's staff washrooms or something. For some reason, I'm finding more joy out of doing the walls rather than planning on the floor plan, because by just putting in walls, I can kind of see what it's going to block off. So what I would want to do here, though, right, is create something like this. Like I said, glass. Has to have a lot of glass. We could potentially... We're going to want that to be open as well, which is going to turn this into a bit of a hallway, though. Okay, so we could turn this off to make sure the flow actually goes through. What is this? 1, 2. 1, 2. Like that. So we get some seating in there, seating along here. Maybe. Okay, this is something. And then 2 in the middle there like that. What do we think of this waiting room? Ooh, I don't know. I'm not sold on this waiting room. I like that it's kind of opposite the elevators, though, so that's okay. That's not terrible. It feels, as a person waiting, you still feel somewhat exposed. That being said, that is kind of what's going to happen. You're going to need to be... I think we can put some washrooms along this wall right here. You're going to need to be a little bit exposed. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There we go. That's room for a couple of washrooms right there. And then this gives us our sort of front desk area. We can put some office stuff back here just to look like a back office, but still have it all kind of open concept. That'll be a bit more like RP based, we're kind of making that up. There, and 1 here. Then we need corner units right there, and we'll have to buy some more, obviously, but this is starting to fill in okay. This is starting to look like something that I would want to see. It's still cluttered, but I think that's kind of the aesthetic, right? Like, unfortunately, is that we're dealing with a sort of cluttered space. Let's get some windows in here. Give even more openness to these guys. I'm going to need your advice, folks. I'm going to need your thoughts on if this looks... It's a little less realistic. I think that's what's bothering me right now, is that it feels just a hair less realistic. Also, we need... If we're going to do such a big operation, we're going to need more waiting room space, not... yeah, see, look. This is the exact same amount that we had last time. So we're going to need to fix that. We could do something like this, maybe. Still the same amount. Maybe we've added 2 more seats. So this is not the vibe. We're going to have to solve that in the next episode, but this is kind of the shape of things so far. We could still get our little gift shop in here if we wanted to. So that's not bad. But again, I don't think this is the solution. I don't think this has solved our primary issue, which is like getting more people in and using this area in a cool way. So again, folks, I hope you enjoyed this episode, but we've run out of time, so we're going to have to deal with this in the next episode. We don't even have where's this the number screen going to go? Over in the corner, I guess. We still need their little ticket pole thing. So yeah, this waiting room is not the vibe. This lobby is closer to something I like, especially because, we'll have a couple of washrooms there. So this is closer to what I like. We could have little waiting rooms. We could split up. We could have a couple of seats here and make that a waiting room. So that it almost appears like these are just part of the lobby, but it's actually an extended waiting room. I mean, there's a lot to do, but what did we get done today? Well, we got set up for the development for the future of this hospital, but I, folks, am going to need your input because this thing has some problems. Space, as always, is a constraint, so we need to make that better. I don't hate, when you zoom out, I don't hate it, but maybe just like a little wider or something. We'll figure this out. We'll figure it out together here on Project Hospital. The second floor is kind of really coming together. I really like how this came together. We do need to build this lab to make sure it's actually a viable space for scientists to work in. This is probably one of my favorite designs. Like moving everything from the first floor up here, I was just like, oh man, am I really happy with how that turned out. So overall, I think we have an award-winning hospital on the way. We just need to solve this problem down here, and that'll be helped by you in the comments below. We can almost open, and we'll see you in the next episode.